Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
I'm John.
You guys, it's been a year, and after a whole year, and then like a little bit of change, No Man's Sky finally has, get this, multiplayer.
You did it.
That's right. The game's latest update, that's version 1.3, finally makes good on the developer's promise to explore outer space with your friends. Kinda.
How long ago did they promise this? Okay, so it's been a long time coming. Remember, before the game even launched, when Hello Games promised us that we'd all be playing together in one big, procedurally generated universe, happily exploring trillions of planets.
Trillions!
I remember that. It's like, you're technically all in the same place, you just never find each other because you're in trillions of places, get it, blah, 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 whatever. Turns out, that didn't happen. The lack of multiplayer was one of the big gripes that players had when the game released, and it was continuously used by detractors as proof that creator Sean Murray had promised way, way more than he actually delivered.
But no more! Kinda. And now you can play No Man's Sky with other players. Kinda. Actually, they don't look like people at all when you're playing with them. They're more like glowy orbs that you can't interact with all that much, but you can talk to them, and orbs worked in Fable, am I right?
I'm not happy with this already. So, apparently the new update called Atlas Rises, this is a terrible name.
I like the name,
That's not good.
You.
Features loads of new content. There's portals between planets for faster travel, 30 hours of new story, a procedural mission generator, new ships, more aliens, and even better graphics.
That's a great list of stuff.
Yeah, and you can explore crash ships, and there's even a terrain editing tool.
So needless to say, that is a big update. But the big news is the multiplayer, which No Man's Sky players have been waiting for since launch. Didn't think anything like this was going to happen, to be honest. When it came out, there was no multiplayer. They never said, hey, we'll get to that. They just went and have quietly been adding things. This was a surprise they just dropped on us. Now, it is important to note that the multiplayer is very basic at this point. After the update, you can now see up to 15 other players if they're nearby, and like we said, they just show up as on your screen as orbs, not as people or as ships. There's not a lot of interaction. You can't affect other players' games or terrain, so you can't see if they're mining terrain, they can't see yours, they can't mine holes around you, they can't steal your ship, but you can talk to them via voice chat, and that's gonna make that big old universe a lot less lonely.
So it's Discord.
With orbs.
Good job, Sean. There might be more to come, though. In the updates notes, the developer says, while interaction with others is currently very limited, this is an important first step into a world of synchronous co-op in No Man's Sky. First step? They're only taking the first step a year after launch?
Oh, come on, they put out a bunch of updates. This game is very different than it was a year ago.
That's a big fucking step. That's a year-long step.
Look, even though the multiplayer functionality is a little bit limited, yes, it is. They do admit it's a first step, not a full step. The game's fans, what? We're still pretty stoked about the update, especially because it's a nice surprise. They didn't promised anything for this update, they just dropped it and here it is. Almost immediately, players have started running into each other in the game, already been posting pictures on Reddit of nearby friendly orbs, lots of streaming happening of people exploring the galaxy looking for other orbs. It's kind of, I'm excited by the fact that they're taking steps, okay?
Good, make those half steps. So the update, it has been a bright spot for a fan base that has been super patient while a developer keeps trying to live up to the game's initial promises.
Now, if you're not familiar with No Man's Sky, well, here's the quick backstory. Safe to say, this has been one of the more controversial games in recent memory. While the open world survival game got a lot of praise for its vast procedurally generated universe, it also got knocked quite a bit for being, well, at launch, pretty empty, pretty boring, not looking a lot like the trailers, not looking a lot like the things that the developers had talked about the game having. Bit of a letdown, really.
Yeah, Hello Games and lead developer Sean Murray got a ton of scorn for promising a bunch of features that didn't make it into the game, at least on launch day. That led to a ton of people abandoning the game and allegations that fans were either intentionally misled or that the hype for No Man's Sky had spun way out of control. To a lot of people, the launch game felt more like an early access or a beta version rather than a finished product.
Now, to their credit, though, because they did take a lot of, in my opinion, very well-deserved criticism But Murray and Hello Games didn't abandon No Man's Sky, and that would have been the easy thing to do after they had all the money.
Got your money, bye!
Exactly. After the controversial release, they did put their heads down, they got to work. In March, they released the Pathfinder update, which added graphical updates, planetary vehicles, the ability to share your base online, even a super challenging permadeath mode if you're into that kind of thing. And before that, last November, they had a similarly big patch that added a bunch of different game modes, the ability to establish home bases and farm crops.
Yeah, Hello Games has been teasing this latest update for almost 2 months, thanks to an ARG, one they said over 250,000 players participated in. On the game's website, Murray wrote, "It's been a year since No Man's Sky first released, and it's been an exciting, intense, and emotional year for us at Hello Games. We have been quiet, but we have been listening intently. We've spent that year working hard on free updates for this game our team cares about so much."
Yeah, no doubt that No Man's Sky could use a shot in the arm. Back when the game released in August of last year, it hit a record peak of more than 212,000 players on Steam, which I mean, has already been totally like curb stomped now by PUBG. But at the time, that was a huge number of concurrent players, especially for what was accidentally a single player game. Today, it hit about 1,600 players, which is a recent high, no doubt because of people checking out the update. But yeah, there's been a little bit of a drop off there.
Yeah, so still, though, the game has a hardcore group of fans who have stuck around despite all the controversy. Even though fewer people are playing it on Steam, the main subreddit devoted to the game has more than 126,000 subscribers.
And it's also worth noting that one of the main platforms for the game is PlayStation 4, because they had such a nice marketing partnership with that platform, and we don't have numbers for how many people are playing on that. Fans overall have reacted pretty positively to this new update. On YouTube, one top-rated comment from user BoardGamer said, "Really liking the support and improvement to No Man's Sky. It's actually getting a lot better. Please continue to support and update the game. Thank you for not cash grabbing and running as I expected."
And news about the update dominated the main PlayStation 4 subreddit today. As the top commenter on one thread put it, "Honestly, this is proof that the game should have come out 1 year later. This is so much closer to what the game should have been. I'm gonna jump back in."
Yeah. So overall, credit where credit is due. Hello Games has not given up on the game. While the initial rollout was underwhelming to many, they are still trying very hard to update it to give gamers what they paid for.
And it doesn't look like they're done yet. In the trailer for the 1.3 update, the narrator says at the end that much more will follow. That's so tantalizing to hear stuff like that.
Well, they also, in the update you mentioned earlier, in the quote from Sean Murray, said it's the first step to synchronous multiplayer, that there will be more to come. That's all pretty exciting. I think it was a good first step. Pretty happy with it.
Okay.
So what do you guys think of the new update for No Man's Sky? Or was it enough to make you want to give it another shot? Let us know in the comments.
And for all of your No Man's Sky news, as they continue to update the game, be sure to like this video. And if you're new around here, subscribe. It makes us happy.
And we want Happy Johns, don't we?
Oh my god, that was stated. That made me uncomfortable.
Fans overall have reacted pretty positively to this new update. On YouTube, one top-rated comment from user